Hi Capricorn, welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings from the heart. Thanks ever so much for joining me on your month ahead August 2017 reading. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at the incoming energies for Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising signs for the month of August 2017. Pardon me darlings, I'm having to record via Movie Maker this month. I've been really busy. So when in really busy times, it's busy on the website admittedly every month, but in especially really busy times as it has been in July, and trying to make sure that all my personal readings go out as well as these, I have to do the readings on Movie Maker. It's got the black bars down the side. I hate that, to be honest with you. I usually record via Mavavi or actual video equipment because it's just a clearer view of the pictures, but then that means I have to try and render the video and then, you know, wait for it to upload. It's a bigger file, it's in gigabytes, then it takes forever. So recording on Movie Maker, it tends to take about 10-15 minutes maybe to upload, and it just makes it quicker. So I do apologise for that, my darlings, but yeah, that's why the format, and if it's not as clear as it usually is, I do apologise as well. So we're doing the reading in a Gypsy tarot spread this month. I fancied, instead of the Celtic Cross, doing the Gypsy this month. And what we're going to do, we're going to look at the incoming energies for Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. So I'm just focusing on your names: Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. Universe, Spirit, what are the energies you see coming in for Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising signs? Oops. Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising signs for the month of August 2015. What do you see coming in for Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising signs? Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. What do you see coming in for Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising signs in a 21 card Gypsy Tarot spread for the month of August 2017? Show me. Okay, so I've shuffled the cards, meditated on them, splitting the deck into 3. Oh, and remember, you've got your 3 to 9 month love reading up as well that I did in July. Basically, what I do with that reading is I tell, for those of you who haven't seen that video yet, it should be coming up, the link to it, at the end of this video. I did on my blog in October 2016, Was Love Coming In For Me? I'd been on my own quite a while. It showed up 9 months later. The exact person I saw in the reading was a King of Cups, a Cancerian. It's a Cancer guy that I'm seeing at the moment. So I wanted to do a general reading for everybody on that, just to do generally if love is coming in for you. And the reading is specifically targeted to those of you who are looking for a relationship. If you're a perfectly happy relationship, that reading will not be for you. But if you're looking for a relationship, or you're looking for love, maybe you're looking for someone to come back to you, whatever it is, then that reading would be for you. Okay, so check that out if you haven't seen it already. What we're going to do now, then, we're going to start laying the cards down. Oh, I didn't say I'm using the Witch's Tarot this month for you guys. Okay, I really like this deck. I think it's really nice. I'm just going to start laying the cards down. Just try and get them so they're all lined up here. 4, 5, 6, 7. And as I say, I'm sorry if the cards aren't as clear as they could be, but as I say, you still should see the cards anyway. Yeah, for next month I'll try and make sure that it's recorded on proper video, and I'll do an intro with myself anyway on that particular reading. You all know what I look like by now, so sometimes I appear on screen, sometimes not, just depends. But really it's the cards that you want to see, to be honest with you. There we go. So there's 21 cards laid down there. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. And you've not seen a Gypsy Tarot before, the top level usually is the consciousness of the client, what they're thinking, but sometimes this is actually the situation as well. This is what's manifesting as a result of your thinking or situation here. And this is the reason why. We've got 7 columns. This is your mental and emotional area. This will be the focus for the month area. This is your hopes and desires for the month, your expectations for the month, any hidden aspects that might be coming in the month of August, what should be happening further down the line in August as a result of everything, and the overall outcome for August. Okay, so without further ado, let's make a start, Capricorn. What's around a mental? So the Six of Wands is good. The situation shows success and victory, because that's what the Six of Wands really is. The Six of Wands also means when something is coming towards you. So somebody might be making an approach, for example. It can also mean that you've overcome some form of an obstacle, a storm, because the Six of Wands is after the Five of Wands. Five of Wands is all about conflict. Depends on what deck you get. In this deck, it's definitely a combative card. In the Rider-Waite, it can be either way. It can be combat, it can be child's play, or it can be working together in unison, okay, to construct something. But on this deck, Five of Wands is the more conflictive element of the card. The Six of Wands can also be a card about recognition, because this person usually, and I don't know whether we've got it on this card. I can't see it on this card, but usually on the card, especially the Rider-Waite, it has people behind somebody cheering them. So sometimes this is the ego, sometimes it's about popularity, and sometimes it's about, you know, recognition, for example. This could also be a fire sign individual, the Six of Wands. Let's have a look at what your mental and emotional is around the Six of Wands. Well, mentally and emotionally, I think that you're releasing something, and it might be that the situation is that you guys are looking to, but you know, your focus is on having the confidence to do something. Maybe it might be that your crowding thoughts are around confidence, because that's what the Six of Wands is. You can see a guy sitting quite high upon a horse. He's got a wreath. He's holding a wand up high. He looks like a warrior coming out of battle. So I think that there is confidence in the situation. Some of you guys, the situation might be that you've come out of a very difficult situation here with the Six of Wands, but I feel that mentally and emotionally around this energy, it's saying that you are now releasing something, because I think if the focus is on your confidence, overcoming some form of obstacle or struggle with that Six of Wands, it might be as a result of that your emotional and mental feelings might be around this area, because this is the situation, but this is how it's manifesting in terms of what you mentally and emotionally feel about it. It might be that you are finally releasing something, because the Eight of Cups means to release. If this is somebody who does have an ego, or somebody who is fairly overly confident maybe with this Six of Wands, it could be that mentally and emotionally you're looking to walk away from that type of individual. Let's have a look at what the reason is though for that Eight of Cups. Of moving on energy showing here, because you've got the reason for this, because the Six of Swords, and the Six of Swords is all about gaining mental clarity. So sometimes the Six of Swords means that you've got a change in direction when this shows up. Sometimes it means you've had a change of mind, for example. So if there is a person around you here, and it could be that this person has fairly narcissistic tendencies. Cards that show narcissism sometimes are cards like the Six of Wands, or cards like the Chariot, for example, or cards like the Knight of Wands, or even the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Swords. Those types of cards that show people who are kind of moving forward and they've got a lot of confidence about the way that they move. On the card, sometimes it can indicate some fairly narcissistic tendencies in an individual. So if the Six of Wands does represent a narcissist, it might be mentally and emotionally you might be looking to move on or walk away from this type of individual, perhaps because you've gained some mental clarity around the situation. It could also be that you, with the Six of Wands, Six of Swords, you've changed your mind, you've had a change of heart with this particular card. The Six of Wands can also be making an approach, so it might be that you're looking to make an approach in a certain direction. As a result of that, this is a moving card. Eight of Cups is also a card that represents a move in a person's life. It could be because you're travelling, or you know, you're going abroad or something, because this is a card about travel and possibly travel over water. What's going on in the present situation? So what will be the focus of the month? Well, the situation is around the Page of Cups, and the Page of Cups can represent a new offer. It can represent a surprising offer that comes in. The Page of Cups in terms of a message is always pretty good. It's always nice. It's always a welcome message. This is a card about, sometimes this is a new creative journey that somebody's going on. So, for example, the Page of Cups in terms of creativity would be a fashion designer, or somebody who probably worked within the beauty industry. Somebody who could work with books, for example, or poetry, for example. It's a fairly romantic type of individual, but because cups represent creativity and this is a page, this would be a student of creativity, so you'd just be starting out on possibly a new creative path. If this area here, if this is a narcissistic individual that mentally and emotionally you want to leave behind because you've had a change of heart with the Six of Swords, it might be that the situation could be around immaturity, because the Page of Cups can represent somebody who's quite immature. But let's have a look remember we're building the story up here, so we're looking at various scenarios. what's manifesting, or what will be the focus for the month for some of you Capricorns as a result of this Page of Cups? Well, there you go. You've got new love. For some of you guys, the new love card comes in Ace of Cups. It could also be an opportunity, but we've got 2 cup cards here. The more cups you get in a reading, the more it's about the emotional aspect, the more it's about love, falling in love. So the situation with the Page of Cups is saying to me that this is a focus on somebody who's possibly making an emotional proposal to you, a romantic proposal, in which what's manifesting is falling in love or experiencing maybe a new relationship with the Ace of Cups. What's the reason for the Ace of Cups, though? Well, it's a Knight of Swords. So this might be something that was unexpected, somebody that came in quickly, okay? Because the Knight of Swords is somebody that arrives. It's an arrival. So some of you guys, it might be the arrival of a love situation happening here. And I know that you've already had a love reading, but we can't ignore these cards here. And that the reason for this new love, it might have been unexpected with the Knight of Swords. Now, if we go back to the mental and emotional, it's victory. 6 of Wands is the focus around this, in which mentally and emotionally, I think you guys are leaving something behind, okay, as a result of this victory. Why are you leaving something behind? Because the 6 of Swords, you've finally moved on, I feel here, in which, for some of you guys in the month of August 2017, what you'll be experiencing, or the situation is speaking of, potentially a proposal, a love offer maybe with this Page of Cups energy, in which what you experience through the month, or the focus for the month, will possibly be on this new relationship. But why is there a new relationship? Somebody came in, possibly somebody who's been unexpected, because Knight of Swords often represents either an unexpected messenger or an unexpected person, an arrival, somebody arriving in quickly into your life. What are your hopes and desires? Well, the focus will be on the Emperor. So for some of you guys, you'll be looking for somebody who's quite stable, somebody who's quite wise, somebody who's quite intelligent, somebody who's quite focused. You're not looking for a fly-by-night. Maybe this is why you walked away from a situation, because you're mental and emotional. With the 8 of Cups, it's also to walk towards something. But I think that as a result of some form of victory around the mental and emotional, the situation is this: you are able to release something. Now, we don't know what it is in the past that you're releasing. We know that you're releasing something because you've moved on here with the 6 of Swords. You've overcome some form of mental barrier that's possibly kept you somewhere in this 8 of Cups, with those 8 cups there. But it's funny, because the 6 of Swords to me is saying that you've overcome some sort of mental barrier with this 6 of Swords energy, and that's why you've got the 8 of Cups. So the 8 of Cups, if you look at these cups here, Capricorn, they're stacked evenly. So I feel that you've put closure on a situation here, which is the reason for why you've been able to overcome some sort of mental barrier. And that's why the focus for the month is on possibly a new love proposal with this Page of Cups, in which it's manifesting as a new relationship that some of you guys might be focusing on because of the Knight of Swords. Could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius person, but it could also be the arrival of somebody that you didn't expect. I think around the hope section, the focus will be on the Emperor, and that is building and constructing some form of order in your life. But it could also be that this arrival that came in is actually the Emperor. So this focus could be on an Emperor. It could be on an older individual, for example. It could be on somebody who's got great power, great authority, somebody who you feel is already very important. It might be for some of you guys, this person feels like a father figure. It could also be with the Emperor again, you're just looking to put some order and balance into your life. But let's have a look at what's manifesting as a hope around that. Well, there we go. You're looking to build something with this person, the 10 of Pentacles. And the Emperor and the 10 of Pentacles works really, really well together, I think. Because the Emperor is about somebody who's older, somebody who's quite worldly wise, somebody who's got it together, somebody who is, you have the benefit of their experiences, of their wisdom. They're not a Knight of Cups, and they're not a Knight of Wands, okay? They're not a page, for example. They're completely fully rounded as an Emperor, and your hopes will be to build something with this Emperor. So I feel that, yes, the situation could be around the hopes. This is to build a strong team with an individual. And we can see on both cards children running around. So I think that there is the focus in terms of your hopes to build something with this individual, the 10 of Pentacles, because the situation is around an Emperor. And the Emperor could be somebody who is very kind of, upright, upstanding, very solid in who they are as an individual. And it might be that you walked away from something here in the past, it looks like, because this came in swiftly. So this might have enabled some of you guys to overcome something here. that you couldn't let go of at first. But I think that the Emperor card is saying that the situation around your hopes is either a person who demonstrates the characteristics of what an Emperor is in the best light possible, because Emperors aren't always great energy, possibly somebody who can bring some stability and focus to your life, in which the hopes will be to build a solid, stable structure with this individual. Family life, perhaps, the hopes will be, you know, to build a strong relationship, possibly marriage. Let's have a look at what the reason is for that, though. Well, because I think you're trying to forget something or someone here. Because we've got the Devil. Now, it could also mean with the Devil. Now, this is the Witch's Tarot. And, you know, I get a lot of people that say, you always get people that say, well, you've got all these different tarot decks. Do they all mean the same thing? Or should we be looking at the photos, the pictures? And I always look at the pictures. Always. Because with the Devil energy, on the Rider-Waite, for example, what you get is a card that shows two people who are chained. And they're not really making a... they're not making any steps, or they're not taking any steps to removing themselves from that Devil energy on the Rider-Waite. Okay, let me just see if I can find this Devil card for you guys on the Rider-Waite energy, because it's very interesting how this energy on this particular Witch's Tarot differs so greatly to the Rider-Waite. So I always, because I always use pictures, I always use cards with pictures, clear images on them, because I find that they help to tell a story. You can see where the cards are facing, if people have conversations, if somebody's turned their back on another individual, you know, if somebody's being, you know, sneaky or that type of thing, or if somebody's got some form of a hidden agenda. So that's why I always use them. Rider-Waite is my very favourite deck. It's the one that I always use. I use it for clients' readings. I just think it's a phenomenal deck of cards. But I love the Witch's Tarot as well. I think that speaks a very awesome story as well, to be perfectly honest with you. Just gonna find, sorry, I want to show you something here, because I just found it fascinating, and I'll tell you why I find it fascinating in a moment, and why I feel it's important in the way that I'm going to explain this reason here. Okay, it's not that just you're trying to forget someone or something, but I think that you're trying to loosen chains. And this is the card here, the shadow side in the Witch's Tarot, that tells me in a way that you're trying to loosen the chains of something here, because these two people aren't happy to have this Devil around them. If you can see, they're trying to hide their faces from the Devil. So really what they're trying, here we go, this is the card here. So on the Rider-Waite, what we have with the Devil energy, it's called obviously the shadow side in the Witch's Tarot. On the Rider-Waite, what you see is two people here, and they're quite happy to be chained to whatever this external situation is, whether it's a person, whether it's an experience, whether it's a bond. It shows people that are strongly bonded to something. So if this was here, I'd have said that, you know, you're hoping to build something of strength and relevance with this individual, possibly marriage, long-term. You're hoping for something long-term with that Ten of Pentacles, because the Ten of Pentacles is essentially a family card. On this particular, you know, the dog represents loyalty, the child represents the potential to have children in the future, and the two people here have a very strong unit, and the older person here represents tradition and lineage and you know, generations, basically. So the child and the man here, the older man, represent, you know, generations, perhaps looking at generations or having generations of children growing old together, loyalty within a relationship, the togetherness, the synchronicity of a relationship here. It's looking really just to build a strong unit, I think the hope will be. But that's because of this Devil here. And it concerns me a little bit. Well, it doesn't actually concern me, because this card here is not about a bond. Okay, and I wouldn't read it as that with the Witch's Tarot, simply because I'm looking at the images on the cards, and I always use images within tarot to tell the story, always. If it's necessary, I'll do that. If it's necessary, I'll do that. Here, if this card were to show here, I would have either said that maybe your hopes are to build a very strong structure because of the Devil. It could be for material reasons. It could be for surface reasons, yeah, which the Devil can represent. But it can also be, Devils can also be good, because they show a very strong bond. For whatever reason that bond exists, it's something that is difficult to break. It's a very difficult and unbreakable bond with the Devil upright. But here, these people want to break the bond with the Devil. If you look at the picture, and I'm definitely using pictures on readings because it's important. These people have no interest in this Devil. These people are saying, get away from me. I have no interest. So there's something here. The reason why you want to build something strong is either that you've got something in your life, Capricorn, and the devil is actually your card, funny enough. It's the zodiac sign of the Capricorn. But it's either that there's something that you want to heal over, I would say, probably with this card, because these two people are hiding from the devil because they're hiding from something that has either the capacity to draw them back in, or it has such a strong and overwhelming negative vibe on them that they really don't want to be a part of it. So I feel that this is almost like some form of a liberation for you in August, this relationship here, because I think it's providing for you some form of stability in your life that for some of you guys you haven't experienced in a long time. And your reason for the Ten of Pentacles is not because there's a bond, it's because there's something else that you want to release and get rid of with this devil energy. It's almost like you feel that, I mean, if you look at this card here, this devil, the shadow side card, the two people are shying away from the devil. So they want to release a fear or release an obstruction or release a difficulty in their life, which is why the focus is on the Emperor. And that is either someone that can help you do that, that can help you put things into order, help you to restructure your life, or it's about building some form of structure, because here you didn't have it. Here you're trying to find the structure, because the structure is not with the devil. It's not with the negative aspect of yourself or the negative aspect of a situation, possibly a past lover or something like that, or whatever the case is. But there's something here that you are releasing, which is why you want this. You want solidity and you want stability because you don't want this. Let's have a look at what your expectations are in the month of August 2017, Capricorn. Well, the focus is around the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles is about building a home. I mean, there's so many cards in the tarot that resemble each other. The Emperor and the Queen of Pentacles, the synchronicity, the similarities, I would say, between both cards are about building some form of order and structure through logical application, but also through logical ideas that you apply into the outside world. And that's what the Queen of Pentacles does. She's a card about using the resources that one has to build something greater and bigger. You can also notice that there's a dog on here. Again, this is something about the family, or this is something about feeling secure or feeling stable. Again, two cards that represent security and stability. Emperor doesn't always recognize that. Sometimes this can be an absolute bitch of a person, the Emperor, because he wants everything his own way. But not here. Not here, because this person, I feel, if it's a person, they've brought some form of order into your life in which you're hoping to build something with this individual, and it will be long term. Because of the devil, you're trying to let go of some demons within your life. I would probably look at this card and say somebody's trying to let go of some form of demons just because these two people are shying away from the devil in the background. And around your expectations, well, the focus is on the Queen of Pentacles energy, and that is about, it could be a Virgo person, but sorry, not Virgo. Again, this is you, Capricorn. It's Queen of Pentacles energy. So the focus is really on yourselves and what you're starting to build up within yourselves. It's the focus will be around resources, material, comforts, for example, with the Queen of Pentacles. You know, building a home. She's usually a mother. She's somebody who's very focused on, you know, in the winter time, making nice fires, making nice food for her partner, cleaning the home, you know, making sure that everything's in order. You know, she's very intelligent and she's got a lot of common sense, and this is your card, Capricorn, okay? So the focus is on, I feel, comfort, but it's comfort within, it's almost like you've met someone for some of you guys and you're really looking at the aspect of settling down, because this is where the focus is with the Queen of Pentacles. I want to see what your expectations are as a result of that. Well, the Ten of Wands is your expectations, okay? So you might be expecting that there's a burden, but it's not from your point of view, because this is what you're hoping for. So that can't be, this is not what you're expecting yourself to do. It might be that you expect it's going to be a long, hard slog, because the Ten of Wands can be a long, hard slog. So if the expectations is to do with you, it might be that you're being realistic, because the Queen of Pentacles actually is a very realistic card. What she tends to do is look at the one pentacle and she says, what can I do with that? Now, as I always say, when you get an Ace of Pentacles, a Page of Pentacles, a Knight of Pentacles, a Queen of Pentacles, a King of Pentacles, they're all to do with pure potential. So what they each hold in their hands, the similarity between those cards is they all hold one pentacle. And what they're doing with that pentacle is they're looking at it and they're saying, This has pure potential. So the focus will be on a situation holding some great potential for you, pure potential for you. Well, what is the potential with the Queen of Pentacles? Well, the Queen of Pentacles likes a nice home. All right, she likes children. Okay, she likes a nice environment. She likes a clean environment. She likes everything to be in order, from the household accounts, the business accounts, the work accounts. She does everything. She's a superwoman. So your focus around the Queen of Pentacles energy is really to have everything in order in your life. But I feel a lot of it will be on the material plane. Okay, because she's a card that represents earthly aspects. And earthly aspects are things like our livelihoods, our homes that we live in. You know, the money in the bank, the jobs that we do, all of that thing. So your focus is around the earthly aspects, you know, the experience, the living experience, the building a home experience. But it might be that you're expecting, well, this might be a bit of a way off with that Ten of Wands. Now, tens usually mean that you're coming to the end of a cycle or something, but this also means pressure. The Ten of Wands, the 10 Wands aren't in front of this person's face, though, so he's not pushing. He's carrying it quite easily on his back, but he's looking uphill. So he's looking to get to this point here, the castle, and he knows that this is the far way off. So it might be that you're expecting that this is going to be a bit of a slog to get to this area here, because this is where your focus is, and this is what you're expecting in terms of this focus. And that is, you know, I want all of this stuff as the Queen of Pentacles. I want to be able to settle down. I want to be able to have a nice home with the partner, or whatever it is. I want to be able to kind of do everything, you know, as a man or a woman, work, have a partner, have a lover, have children, have a nice environment, whatever the case might be. But my expectations might be with that Ten of Wands. Well, it's not to say there's a struggle or anything with this person, but I think that it's almost like what I'm looking at is that, and there are certain key cards when I do a reading that really spark something within me, and it's this Devil card here. The fact that the assumption, I guess, that your guys' hopes for the Ten of Pentacles, and that is to build some form of a family life, to build some form of stability and security. But that's off the back of the shadow side, because there's a demon in your life that you've been trying to relinquish and get rid of, because you already moved on from whatever this demon is here with the Eight of Cups, and you need to get rid of it now with the shadow side, which is why your focus is on building something here. Could be with an Emperor here, or just building some form of order. However, your expectations are, you know, this is the fantasy element here, but in the real world, realistically, you're saying, well, yeah, I want this, because these two cards correlate together. They're very similar. But you'll say to yourself, Capricorn, I know it's a far way off. Well, what's the reason for that? Well, because you're being realistic with the Ace of Swords. It's all about mental clarity with the Ace of Swords. Also, it could be communication from the person that comes in, especially if it's an Emperor, because you've got an invitation to love from the Page of Cups, in which the focus is on new romance, possibly for some of you guys, Page of Cups. Because of the Knight of Swords, somebody came in swiftly, possibly unexpectedly. Communication. Focus around your hopes is around an Emperor. Building security, stability for yourself, but also could literally be around a very wise individual. Somebody who's probably very different to what you've had before, which is why you had a change of mind here and decided mentally and emotionally to walk away from something, because something good happened, and finding this closure here. So maybe this is somebody completely different that came in, and this is somebody that you say in your hopes, you know what, I hope that we can settle down together, I hope that we can build a life together, because you know what, there are things, and it could simply be with the Devil card, there are because devils often represent recurring patterns, negative patterns sometimes, and it might be for some of you guys, you know what, I want to just get rid of what I've been doing before, and I'm really hoping that this is the one that I can settle down with, because I've had some bastards in the past with the Devil card, and I really don't want that anymore with this Devil energy. I want rid of it. You can see these two people want rid of this Devil here, and this is what you want rid of. However, in your expectations, yes, the focus is around loveliness. Queen of Pentacles, again, it's yourselves. Alright, you are being practical, and it might be that actually, as well as the focus being on building a life of comfort with this Queen of Pentacles on every single aspect. Sexually wise, Pentacles represent sexuality, because they're earthly aspects, so they represent sex. They represent, you know, the food we eat, what we buy, what we, you know, the money we have, the businesses we run, the work that we do, the homes we live in. They're what we experience. The table is a pentacle here. The pen is a pentacle. You know, it's what we experience. It's a resource. It's a material object. Yes, the focus might be all around that, but also, as you're showing as yourselves here as the situation, you're also being very pragmatic, down to earth and intelligent about this, and you're being realistic, and that's manifesting as, your expectations are this is going to take a while. And why is that? Because you've got intelligence, mental clarity. Might also be, as I've said, it's come from the Emperor here. Not just your own mental clarity, but it can be communication, the truth with the Ace of Swords from the Emperor saying, yeah, I like you, but it will take a bit of time. Any hidden aspects coming in for you? What are they? Well, the situation will be around the Ten of Swords. Now, we have to see what card it's aspected by, because as I say with the tarot, everything is kind of, with the tarot, when you're doing tarot, the cards are they've got multiple meanings, and it takes the secondary card to show what that true meaning is. So if you've got Ten of Swords here, the situation, and it could be betrayal that you don't see coming in. It could be somebody who stabs you in the back that you don't see coming in. But and the other side, flip side of the coin with the Ten of Swords, it can be that you've overcome the worst as well. That a period of damage and difficulty is over. You know, let's have a look at what this aspect is. As a result of this card, what is it that you don't see coming in? Well, you don't see trouble, Five of Wands. Unfortunately, I was hoping it would be a better card to say that maybe this was about, you know, a new dawn has come about with this Ten of Swords. But it's not. What you're not seeing is the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is saying to you the situation will be possibly failure, or, you know, a sense of betrayal or defeat in a situation here, because it's manifesting as the hidden factors being the Five of Wands. That can be arguments, that can be confusion, it can be you being conflicted with another individual. It might be a family matter as well that's coming in here. Five of Wands can be warring families, that type of thing. I want to see what the reason is though for that Five of Wands. You know, some people come to me on my readings and say, oh, that was a really negative reading. I had a tarot reader that reads tarot as well. I don't know who she is. I think she just watches videos. And said, oh, you read those cards really negatively. Well, it's like bullshit. It's not really negatively. I can't ignore a card like the Five of Wands, you know. And yes, on the Rider-Waite, it can mean camaraderie and working together, but by the same token, it can mean confusion, and it can mean what's the word that I'm looking for? You get something like the Two of Cups, and the Two of Cups would tell you that there would possibly be an agreement. The Five of Wands is not an agreement card. This, and especially on this card, if you look on the Five of Wands here, Capricorn, what it speaks about are people who are at war. There's dragons on the card. It's quite a violent looking card, but it talks about conflict and being in disagreement. So it might be that, I mean, it might not be that bad, you know. It might, I don't know what this is. I mean, what's coming in, the hidden factors is the Ten of Swords. What you're not seeing is there could be a situation that relates to, could be betrayal. This is the card of, it's called the Lord of Ruin, is the Ten of Swords. So often when you get Ten of Swords, it can mean a situation fails, or there's, you know, sometimes this is somebody who's stabbing you in the back, or somebody who's lying to you, for example. They're doing something behind your back. But what's manifesting, what you're not knowing, is the Five of Wands. So who knows, this might not even relate to you. This might be this Emperor dude here. It might be that this Emperor dude here, who you want to build something with, it might be that what you're not seeing is this person might be exhausted. Well, why are they exhausted? It might be that they've got arguments going on in the family. And why are there arguments? Because people have two opinions. Or it might be there's indecision, or being at odds with each other with the Two of Swords energy. But by the same token, we can't ignore that what could be coming in for you could be that if you're looking, you might be looking for this. You might be looking to build a relationship, to build, you know, somebody's come in here. You've moved on from something in the past, and it looks to me like somebody is so different that comes in that some of you guys might have been thinking, I'd really love to build. My hopes are that I would build a family with this person, or build, you know, have a marriage, or build something that's like really stable. Because I'm sick of dealing with shitty people. You know, you've got common sense around the Queen of Pentacles being the situation, you know, around your expectations, in which it's manifesting as you're expecting. This is going to take a while with this Ten of Wands. It's going to be, you know, a long sort of slog to the top, because you've got the presence of mind with that Ace of Swords. But what you're not seeing is that there could be either this person's going through this, there might be, the situation might be that they're going through a really difficult time with the Ten of Swords. They might have been hurt, for example, quite severely, in which it could be with the Five, as a result of that, what's manifesting, what you're not seeing, it might be that there is a little bit of altercation going on there, because it might be that you don't see eye to eye with the Two of Swords. It could also be that this person here, maybe the Two of Swords relates to the Emperor, maybe they're putting up some blockage. Sometimes the Two of Swords can mean that somebody blocks you out, though. the final few weeks, couple of weeks of August should show, well, temperance is nice because it shows healing coming back, so it's good, and I'm glad about that, because never get it twisted with tarot. Please, 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 never get it twisted with the tarot. This is a pip card, so sometimes the effects of it don't last for long. This could simply be an argument between you and this individual here, and it might be the situation is you're feeling let down. Ten of Swords can also mean feeling disappointed, feeling that you've been let down by a person, and it's manifesting as some form of altercation here, because maybe the Two of Swords is saying that this person doesn't quite see your vision here, because you seem to have a vision on these cards, Capricorn, but maybe this Two of Swords is saying, well, the Emperor, whoever this individual is that offers love, they've come in out of nowhere. They don't quite see the vision just yet with the Two of Swords, because the Two of Swords, you don't see a vision, not unless it's centered on yourself, and the Emperor is renowned for being quite self-centered at the best of times. So maybe they just don't see your vision, but it doesn't last long, because we've got the situation being in the next few weeks of August that there should be peace restored with the temperance energy, the ability to work a situation out through compromise. And let's have a look at what's manifesting as a result of that. Wow, there we go, the Empress. So as a result of temperance being the situation, the working out, the management of whatever this problem is here, it will be with the Empress as a result of this that something begins to blossom and grow with this Empress energy. And what's the reason for that? Because of the Five of Cups. Well, because there's been pain, there's been hurt. But it's good because we've got the Empress because of the Five of Cups. And I think the Five of Cups relates to here and here and here. Because there's been this disappointment with the Five of Cups is leading through, I feel, to the situation being reconciliation with the temperance energy. The ability to adjust and manage and to reconcile the situation here, to get it flowing again in a good way. As a result of that, what manifests as a result of temperance is the Empress. And the Empress card is all about something that blossoms, something where there is progress, the potential for abundance and growth. So you can see almost that there's a learning curve maybe for some of you guys, in which with the Empress energy, what we're seeing is growth now. And that comes out of pain. And usually what happens with people in general is we go through a painful situation, especially in whatever that relationship is, but it's those very painful situations that allow us to grow, and that's what I think is going on there. And what's the overall outcome for August 2017, Capricorn? Well, we've got the situation being strength. Now, I think that this is a small energy personally showing here. I think that what's going on is that you guys have a certain idealism about this new thing that comes in. Okay, I think you are hoping to build a family with this person because what you want to do really is get rid of something. What you're desperate for, maybe with some of you guys, Capricorn, is you're desperate to have that solidity, that stability, that strong foundation, because it's something that you haven't had with this Devil energy, and you don't want the Devil anymore. You know, for some of you guys, you don't want the quick hit relationships or people that just come in for a time and then they leave. What you want is something that is solid and stable, and that's why your hopes are for this, because this is, if this is a person around you being the situation around your hopes, this is somebody who would be in it for the long haul, because emperors usually are. They're usually very solid, very rounded, very intelligent, very kind of complete individuals. Okay, and what you want is to build something, because you don't want any more of the Devil. You're not interested in all of that negative energy around you, whether it's people or otherwise. You're not interested. You know in your expectations that this will be a way off. You've got to have to do a lot of hard work to get to where you want to be within this, whatever this relationship is, work, love, whatever it is. You can apply it to whatever your situation is, because you know the truth. Ace of Swords is about mental clarity, mental breakthroughs, and we've got a sword card here that's saying you know the truth. So one part of you, the hopes, is almost dreamlike, but your hopes of the Ten of Pentacles is based on wanting to get rid of something from the past, wanting complete difference in your life now with an individual. But you know it's going to take time, all right? Everybody can dream, but realistically, in terms of an expectation, you know that this will take time because your mind tells you so. This is why the situation is the Queen of Pentacles. Somebody who's looking at the pure potential of a situation, but there's still a need to be cautious, intelligent, down to earth, common sense, and pragmatic. What you don't see coming in, though, is that you might be feeling a little bit let down with that Ten of Swords, and it's manifesting as maybe some conflicting energy going on within the relationship, possibly because this person doesn't really see your vision, or this person just hasn't caught up with you as yet with the Two of Swords. However, the immediate future is telling you temperance. The situation will be about the reconciliation of differences, getting things to flow again in a nice, evenly way, and it's manifesting as, out of that card, that the situation will be the Empress. The next few weeks will be growth within your relationship, whatever that relationship is with the Empress, because of the Five of Cups. Now, the Five of Cups is also acceptance of a situation as well. It's accepting when something is not going to happen or whatever, but we have to read the cards in conjunction with what we feel that they're trying to tell us. The overall outcome is strength. Now, the strength card can mean that you overcome an obstacle. It can mean that, you know, if there's been any type of altercation between you and this Emperor, if this is the person here, then strength in your differences. You get the Lion and the Woman, and the whole point of strength, in a way, is having somebody come into your life where there are a lot of differences, but you seem to just work together because you respect each other's boundaries. Okay, strength is also that you'll find strength and camaraderie in a situation if you take the softly approach, which is what strength can mean. Let's have a look at what's manifesting in the overall outcome for the month as a result of that. Well, you've got the King of Swords, and I think that this is about clear thinking coming into practice. Well, why is there clear thinking? There we go, because of the Knight of Cups. Now, for me, the Knight of Cups is a difficult card, because the Knight of Cups means many things. It means when you are being invited to love. And I think I think that this Knight of Cups is factoring through to the situation being strength. And I think that the strength card will be, for some of you guys, acceptance of each other's differences. Because the foundation of everything with the overall outcome is interest. Now, the Knight of Cups, make no mistake with this card, this is not the real deal for love. I do not believe the Knight of Cups is ever the real deal for love. It represents a proposal. So it might be the partner or whoever this person is proposes to do something nice. And it might be that the clear... Because here, I mean, I think you guys have been doing clear thinking all along the way. I really do. Alright? But we have to use this spread as a storyboard, which is what I use the Gypsy Tarot for. I use it as a storyboard. Okay, let's go back through the reading. Alright, we use it as a storyboard. Okay, now, mentally and emotionally, you guys, the situation or your mental focus will be on Six of Wands, victory. Maybe an approach was made to you, in which mentally and emotionally, you're now able to leave something behind. You've been able to get complete closure on a past situation here. Because of the Six of Swords, you've had a change of direction. You've also achieved some form of clarity, but I would say that this is probably a change in direction that's happened for some of you guys. And that's because the focus for the month is on a proposal that's been made, Page of Cups, in which the focus will be on the Ace of Cups, a new relationship. And that's because somebody's come in. Knight of Swords, could be somebody that was unexpected. Your hopes around this situation, well, the focus is on the Emperor, possibly building something strong with this individual. But it could also be an Emperor, somebody who's strong, authoritative, worldly wise, you know, intelligent, mature most of all, in which your hopes will be to build a lifelong relationship with this person, because you don't want any more of what you've had. You want to get rid of all the negative aspects that you've been through. This seems like the best deal that probably some of you guys have had in a long time. You say, I'm not letting go of this. You know, I want to settle down with this. I'm hoping that we can settle down together because I've had a really hard time. And what I'm trying to do is get rid of negative energy around me. Okay? So in one way, you come to this situation with a clean slate. But in another, it's almost like this thing that came in has allowed you to let go of something. And possibly that's why the Devil shows here. Because it says that your hopes are to build a solid foundation with this individual because of the shadow side, the Devil. You've still got things that you don't want to really face up to here. And I'm hoping that for some of you guys, you're not using someone that comes in as a catalyst to forget something else. And, you know, that's the worst thing. However, in your expectations, here we see that you are using the common sense because your focus is on yourselves, Queen of Pentacles, Capricorn energy. And the focus is not just about settling down, building home and hearth, you know, putting things into order with the Queen of Pentacles, but it's also on focusing on the potential of the situation, but using your common sense to say, you know, I'm going to accept that this is going to be a bit of a hard slog to get to where we want to be, or where I want to be in this, because I've got great mental clarity with that Ace of Swords. What you can't see coming in for some of you guys is that the situation will be, I feel that some of you guys might be feeling quite a little bit let down. Well, how is it manifesting feeling let down? Possibly that there are conflicting energies going on here with the Five of Wands. So it could be the person says, you say something to the person about sitting down, they say, oh, I'm not ready for that just yet, you know, let's just see how it goes. And that'll be because of the Two of Swords. Either you've been very focused on this and this, or the person really hasn't caught up with you and they're not really in that frame of mind as yet with the Two of Swords energy. However, in the next few weeks of August, what you guys should experience is temperance. And this is really the need to compromise, manage the situation, get things back on an even keel, reconciling differences, that type of thing with the temperance, making some adjustments, which is manifesting as the Empress. And I would read this as growth, possibly for some of you guys, in whatever this relationship is, because it is the admittance that maybe not everything you want is what somebody else wants. So this isn't always that you've lost someone. Sometimes it's that you just simply feel hurt. The overall outcome for the month will be strength, and I feel that this will be an acceptance of each other's differences, overcoming of the obstacle. How does that manifest? Well, it manifests to the King of Swords. I don't read this as a person. Could be for some of you guys, but I read this as a person. Sorry, I read this as an energy saying that now there is smart and clear thinking. Well, why is there smart and clear thinking? Because you're just starting out, Knight of Cups. And if you're not just starting out, then you're just at that stage of the Knight of Cups. And the stage of the Knight of Cups is where you're just dating and you're really just having a good time with the person. It's no promise. And I don't think that this is a wedding proposal or anything, because I don't think that we'd have these energies here in the Hidden Factors, and I certainly don't think we'd have this here. All right. I think that this is really saying that there's clarity coming in, that yes, the person, whatever this situation is for you, Capricorn, the person seems interested. There is still interest. Knight of Cups shows interest from one to the other. So there's still interest going on here, but it's just not on that level just yet, and here and here. You already know the deal here. Your hopes are this, but you already know the deal here. And it's kind of confirmed to you in the Hidden Factors. And yeah, you have a little bit of a sadness about it, but it's worked through to the situation being a reconciliation of those tears, of those differences, as you start to flourish and grow in whatever this situation is. The overall outcome for the month is about mental clarity with the King of Swords, looking at things in a fair, right and justified manner, which is what the King of Swords is. Because this is simply with the Knight of Cups. Knights are what? Number, hang on, 11 page 12 in the tarot. So for some of you guys, it might have, who knows, it might have been a 3-month stage maybe that some of you guys have been seeing someone for. Still early days, early doors yet. Might be the Knight of Cups that this person is, you know, clarity, because yeah, the person is interested. You know, it's factoring through the situation being, well, I accept it. I accept the differences and I'll roll with it and I'll have patience. Strength also means to have patience. And it's manifesting as the focus for the month. The overall outcome is mental clarity because of the Knight of Cups. You really, you know, you're not at a stage maybe just yet that you can move towards these energies just yet. And I think it's either the person that lets you know that, well, the person I think does let some of you guys know that. And whilst it might be a bit disappointing and daunting, I think that there is still a level of interest going on here. It's just about taking your time and being patient with it. Okay, all good things come to those who wait. But then you already know that here, don't you? Okay, that's your reading for the month of... I'm sorry it went on to 49 minutes. It's just the way it is sometimes. But yeah, thanks for joining me, Capricorn. And I will see you guys on your Triple Cross reading coming up in August as well. Take care. Bye-bye.